Hello. Yes. So today we will begin with module number 6. Okay, that is English for specific purposes. Okay. So in my previous lecture, I had given you the introduction of this module. Okay, that what we are going to learn in this module and how this module is important from the perspective of science and technology students, right? So I told you that English for specific purposes provides a kind of platform, okay, for the people about the English language used in the specific field, okay, or develop linguistic abilities. So English for specific purposes is a kind of, we can say, a a kind of place, okay, or is a kind of thing which will give you some ideas, or we can say the knowledge of how to use the English language in a specific field. Okay, so that those fields can be different, okay, as every person has its own field, okay, of interest, and English for specific purposes gives that person uh, the guidelines of the English language used in the field of his interest, like engineering, technology, science, okay, or we can say medicine, pharmacy, advertisement, commerce, law, marketing, literature, philosophy, administration, and many more. So when we study English for specific purposes, we have to take into consideration only one field, okay, because English used in the field of engineering will be different from used in the field of law, okay, or English, or the English language used in the field of law will be different from the English language used in the field of literature. Okay, so this is what ESP works. Okay, it will give you the platform, okay, where you can study the English language used in a specific field like engineering, law, or literature, but it depends on that person, okay, that to choose the ESP according to his field. Now you are science students, okay, so we will study ESP used in science and technology field, okay, and not in the fields of law, marketing, or commerce. So here ESP, or English for specific purposes, focuses on specific needs of the learners. Okay, it is not designed, or it will not give you the knowledge of uh, English used in general or used in all the fields. It will give you or it will fulfill your needs related to the field you are associated. Okay, so it will give you or it will provide the list of peculiar features used in that specific field. Okay, so the field that the person associated with, okay, or the field that the person interested in, okay, so all the information or all the guidelines of the use of English language in that field will be given, okay, in the ESP. Here Grammar and lexis and register are very much important. Okay, because these three components function uh, effectively, okay, when you try to communicate with other people of the same field. Okay, that you have to follow grammar. Lexis means total stock of words in a language, and register means what? The set of words used in a particular field. So along with having the knowledge of general English, you should also have the knowledge of English used in a particular field like science and technology. So ESP is a, we can say, a way of learning, okay, English in a focused way, because you will be given the guidelines of how to use English in only one field, okay, or in a specific field that you are interested in. So there are frequently used words. Okay, there is a set of words that helps us to communicate effectively when we are talking about something related to a particular field. Okay, for example, if you want to talk about any metal, okay, you will use certain kind of fixed words, okay, or a set of words that will convey your knowledge about that subject. So, but sometimes weakness in grammar becomes negligible, okay, due to use of certain frequently used words. While in some other situations, grammaticality is essential, okay. It depends that sometimes your grammar is neglected, even though you did not use proper grammar in your communication, it will be neglected, but at some places your grammar will be taken into consideration. So the point is that you have to be good at grammar as well as the overall knowledge of English. Okay, so ESP is, so ESP provides you the exact way or the exact knowledge of how to communicate or how to deliver your knowledge or how to express your ideas in a specific field. Okay, so the topic that we are going to learn in this, or the field that, or the use of English in the field, is English for science and technology. So I had already uh, told you or given you one example of uh, metal. Okay, so here the paragraph talks about a metal. Okay, that how metals are extracted, and you have to focus on the use of English words in it. Okay, how the sentences are constructed. Okay, how the words are used, okay, or how they are interrelated. Okay, then grammar, okay, or the punctuation marks. Okay, so you have to focus on all these things while reading this paragraph, okay, that is related to your field. Let me see how many students. Okay, so this topic, okay, is about how metals are extracted. So here we can say, or it starts with, you can easily understand how a metal is extracted from its ore. Okay, ore means earth. Okay, so some metals are found in the earth's crust in the free state. Some are found in the form of their compounds. The metals at the bottom of the activity series are the least reactive. They are found in a free state. Copper and silver are also found in the combined state, okay, as their sulfide or oxide ores. The metals at the top of the activity series, okay, like calcium, magnesium, or aluminum, are so reactive that they are never found in nature as free elements. The metals in the middle of the activity series, okay, like zinc, okay, and there are other metals also. So they are moderately reactive. They are found, okay, they are found in the Earth's crust mainly as oxides, sulfides, or carbonates. This is because oxygen is a very reactive element and is very abundant on the earth. Several steps are involved in the extraction of pure metal from ores. Okay, so a summary of these is given below. Each step is explained in detail in the following sections. Okay, so this is the para, okay, related to how metals are extracted. I am not going to tell you exactly how metals are extracted. I will be dealing with only how English is used in science, okay, or how English is used when you try to express scientific ideas, okay, or scientific processes. Here the process is about how metals are extracted. So what we have to focus here is on the use of words, like see how a metal is extracted. Okay, so remember that passive voice is mostly used, okay, in science. Okay, so is extracted from its ore. Some metals are found in the earth's crust. Okay, here we have to focus on the construction of sentence. Okay, that is some metals are found. Okay, so passive construction is used, are found in the earth's crust. Okay, so the words in blue are related to science field, and the words or the phrases in red, highlighted in red, indicate how the or how which voice or how grammar is used, okay, to uh, how to present the information related to scientific processes or the scientific notions. So they are in the uh, earth's crust in the free state. Some are found in the form of their compounds. Okay, so the compound is also a common word used in the field of science. Now, the metals at the bottom of the activity series are the least reactive. Okay, so reactive is a word. Okay, reactive also gives information about the metals, so that is also a word related to the field of science. They are found, again we have used they are found in a free state. Okay, they are found in a free state. So this is also a phrase or the words related to science. Copper and silver are also found. Okay, so copper and silver, so these words also are also related to the field of science. Okay, so they are also found in the combined state as their sulfide or oxide ores. Okay, ores. Okay, so these words sulfide and oxide are also related to the field of science. Okay, now the metals at the top of the activity series. Okay, here the names of metals have been given, like, okay, and they are also reactive, that they are never found in nature as free elements. Okay, so the metals in the middle of the activity series, so these are the metals, okay, that take place in the middle of the activity series, that are moderately reactive. Okay, so they are found in the earth's crust. They are found in the earth's crust mainly as oxides, sulfides, or carbonates, that we have already highlighted. Okay, so the words in yellow, okay, the words highlighted in yellow color indicate that the words belong to the field of science, and the phrases, okay, or the constructions in or the words highlighted in red color indicate the use of grammar, okay, or the use of specific phrases in the field of science. Okay, now this is because oxygen is a very reactive element and is very abundant on the earth. Okay, so this is also the element that we have to highlight. So several steps are involved. See how you have to use passive voice frequently in order to uh, present your or in order to present the process of an element, okay, or of a metal. Several steps are involved in the extraction of pure metal from ores. Okay, a summary of these is given, okay, below. Each step is explained in detail in the following section. Okay, so this is the paragraph about how metals are extracted. Okay, so that process is uh, uh, described here. Okay, so you have to use, or you have to look for the phrases, okay, used while presenting the process, and the names of the metals. Okay, so there is one more example, that chemicals from common salt, or the process of dissolving an acid. Okay, so we will see one more example. Okay, the process of dissolving an acid. The process of dissolving an acid. Now let's see how uh, uh, this process is done. Okay, so let us see. Okay, someone is telling you the process of dissolving an acid, so you have to focus on how he speaks. Okay, what kind of English or which phrases are used by him, that person. Let us see what is involved. Okay, what is involved when water what is involved when water is mixed with an acid or a base. The process of dissolving an acid, the process of dissolving an acid or a base in water is highly exothermic. Okay, thermic 1. Care must be taken. Okay, care must be taken. Care must be taken while mixing concentrated concentrated nitric acid or sulfuric or sulfuric acid with water. With water, the acid, the acid must always be must always be added slowly. Must be added slowly to water to water to water with constant constant stirring if water is added to a concentrated acid, the heat generated may cause mixture the mixture to splash out and cause burns. Okay, so an acid, mixing an acid or base with water results in decrease in the concentration in the concentration of ions per unit volume. Ions per unit volume. Such a process is called dilution, and the acid or the base is said to be diluted. Okay, so this is the paragraph, and this paragraph talks about the process of dissolving an acid. Okay, so here, as I said, that you have to figure out the specific phrases, okay, used in this paragraph, and also the words belonging to the field of science. Now let us see. Okay, this is very general. Okay, we use this phrase in our day-to-day life also. But here, what is involved? Okay, so is involved is a phrase that we have to focus. Okay, that we have to keep in mind. You can't say, let us see what uh, what involvement or what we involved in water. Okay, you have to use passive construction only. Let us see what is involved when water is mixed. Water mixes, not mixes. or is mixing. Water is mixed, okay, because you have to tell the process. Water is involved, okay, with an acid, okay. So an acid or base, okay, both these words belong to the field of science, okay. So here we come to know about the words that are used in science field and how the process is expressed when you are about to describe a process of any metal or any acid. At that time you have to use passive construction, that is involved, is mixed, okay. So the process of dissolving an acid or a base in water is highly exothermic, okay. So this is also the word belongs to the field of science, okay. So care must be taken, care must be taken. See how the construction is made. Care must be taken here, not that care uh, to take care, okay, or caring. So you have to use passive construction, that is care must be taken while mixing concentrated nitric, okay. So this is also the word belonging to the field of science, nitric acid or sulfuric acid with water, okay. So here we are discussing water, okay, and how to dissolve an acid like nitric or sulfuric, okay, in water. But we have to construct the sentences using proper voice, okay, or using the proper construction of English. So the acid must always be added, okay. The acid must be, see here we are using this word acid for the first time, that is why we have made use of the article an before acid or before base a, okay. But after uh, but when we use the same uh, noun, next time we have to use the before it. So here you can see the is used before acid, okay. The acid must always be added, must always be added, okay. So this is the way we form sentences, okay. Slowly to water with constant stirring, okay. Stir means to move or to mix. If water is added, again we have used if water is added because we are telling the process, okay. So if water is added to a concentrated acid, the heat generated the heat generated may cause the mixture to splash out and cause burns, okay. To splash out or cause burns, okay. This is here the result is described, that what will happen when water is added to a concentrated acid, that heat may be generated, which may cause the mixture to splash out and cause burns, okay. So the word cause is frequently used, okay. The mixture to splash out and cause burns. Mixing an acid or base, okay, with water results in decrease, okay, in the concentration of ions per unit volume. Such a process is called, ह्याच प्रोसेसला काय म्हणतात, or this process is called dilution. Okay, and the acid or the base is said to be diluted. Okay, so is said to be. Okay, so this is the way we construct sentences when we try to express any process. Okay, in the field of science. Okay, so see how the paragraph is written. Let us see what is involved. Okay, not involves or involving. Okay, or was involving. You have to use passive construction. Is involved when water is mixed with an acid or a base. The process of dissolving an acid or a base in water is highly exothermic. One, care must be taken while mixing concentrated nitric acid or sulfuric acid with water. The acid must always be added slowly to water with constant stirring. Okay, so if water is added to a concentrated acid, the heat generated may cause the mixture to splash out and cause burns. Mixing an acid or base with water results in decrease, okay, in the concentration of ions per unit volume. Such a process is called dilution, and the acid or the base is said to be diluted. Okay, so focus on the you have to focus on the words used in the field of science, and how you try to make sentences, how you try to describe them when you are asked to tell or when you are asked to describe that process or describe that acid. Okay, so is involved, is mixed, must be taken. Okay, must always be added, is added, or had generated. Okay, or cause, or is called. Okay, so such phrases are used in the field of science. Okay, when you are about to describe a process. Okay, so this is the paragraph. These two paragraphs uh, will give you the idea of how we describe something belonging to the field of science. Either it is a process or it is about a metal. So you have to use present tense, and especially the passive voice. Okay, now let's see the characteristics of English for science and technology. Okay, आता what are the characteristics of English? English for science and technology. Okay, here we will study the punctuations, paragraphing, how paragraphs are made, where punctuation marks are inserted, okay, and where to use punctuation marks, or use of prepositional phrase. Okay, because many times you have to use prepositional phrases, okay, to describe the process. So, and we also have to use the technical terms, okay, or we can say we also have to use passive voice. Okay, frequent use of passive voice is also made. Then we can say frequent use of passive voice as well as frequent use of declarative sentences. Okay, so declarative sentences are also used in the field of science and technology, or we can say frequent use of present tense. Okay, so we have to study all these characteristics, okay, of English. Now let's first see punctuation. Okay, punctuation marks or punctuation. So in order to be precise, punctuation marks like comma, colon, and semicolon are frequently used. Always remember one thing, that your writing should be very precise. Okay, that when you are describing any process, you have to use punctuation marks like, okay, like we can say comma. Okay, you have to use comma. You also have to use colon. Okay, colon or semicolon. Okay, like this. Then you also have to use semicolon. Okay, colon or semicolon. Okay, that you have to use in order to separate words, so that your paragraph will be precise, right? So remember that your punctuation marks are very uh, so punctuation marks should be used while writing or while describing uh, any process, okay, or something that belongs to science, okay, like comma, colon, or semicolon. Then the next thing that you have to focus on is paragraphing. Paragraphing. So we can say that usually short paragraphs are made to explain the content. So always remember that thing, that make short paragraphs. You have to make short paragraphs, okay, to explain the content. Okay, and sometimes paragraph may become lengthy because there are many explanations to be given, but it can be lengthy also. Okay, so if there are so many explanations of the topic or the content at that time, lengthy paragraphs are also used. So if we can say explanations, so if there are so many explanations, so if there are so many explanations of the content, okay, make lengthy or use, or we have to use lengthy, okay, paragraphs or long paragraphs. So this is what we have to do in the exam, okay, that we have to pay attention to the use of punctuation marks, and also paragraphing. Okay, how do you make a paragraph while writing? If possible, make short paragraphs, but if the content requires some explanations or some extra explanations or many explanations, at that time you can use long paragraphs also. Okay, the next point is that prepositional phrase. Okay, use of prepositional phrase. Okay, prepositional phrase means what? A phrase beginning with a preposition. Okay, so in English for science and technology, it makes use of many phrases that begin with prepositions like in, of, or from. Okay, For example, in, of, and these phrases beginning with prepositions, okay, like in, of, okay, or from, okay. So such phrases you have to use. These phrases help speaker to make the sentences organized and easy to understand. So when you use such prepositional phrases, it becomes very easy for the speaker, for the reader to understand, and uh, it also shows the organization of your paragraph. Okay, so this is what you have to remember here. Okay, so we shall stop here. In the next lecture, we will begin with the same. Okay, thank you. Yes, do you have any doubts, Siddiqui? Yes, okay, then we will stop here.